September, so you know what it is. It is that time of the month again for Book of the Month. Woo! So I'm going to go over this month's Book of the Month selections, letting you know the synopsis, whether I'm going to grab them or skip them. And then at the very end, I'm going to let you know what's inside my Book of the Month box. So without further ado, let us go ahead and get started. Okay, so Book of the Month now has 6 hardcover selections, and then you know that they always put the new and recent add-ons and then spotlight titles, so I'll be sure to go over all of those as well. So starting off with A Song to Drown Rivers by Anne Ling. And this is a historical fantasy early release. Now this one sounds very interesting. So this one we follow our main character, and her name is Cixi. I believe that's how it's, if I'm saying it wrong, I do apologize, but it says Cixi. So Cixi has basically, she's been blessed, okay? She's considered blessed by the town, by the village, because she is just beautiful, okay? Beyond words. She is just seen as the beauty of this village, the beauty of the family. And so the family is like, okay, this is a blessing. She can like honor us with marrying like a good person that's going to support the family. So see, she does get engaged to a military person, right, of power. And so when she gets engaged to him, he tells her, he's like, you know what, you're very beautiful. And to which she replies, yeah, I know. I'm assuming. But anyways, he's like, you're very beautiful. So why don't we do something? Okay, why don't we infiltrate the enemy? Why don't you go into that kingdom, enemy territory, seduce the king, right? And then really get our revenge. Just go be a spy. What do you think? What do you think then, you know, everything that happened to your sister, because something happened to her sister, you can avenge all that as well. What do you think? And so she's like, okay. And so she goes into enemy territory and she seduces this king. But the king's advisors also have a hungry eye for her. And she has her fiance, her husband, whatever he may be. I don't know if they're married at this point. And she's like, oh my gosh, I can't lie to him. I don't know what to do. She's just put in this position, right? So that's that one. That one actually seems very interesting. When I saw historical, I'm like, no, I don't think so. But then when I read the synopsis, I'm like, this one actually sounds really good. The next one is a book called The Love Elixir by Augusta Stern. This is a historical fiction. I love the cover. Okay, I love the cover of this book. It's just so pretty. So this one is by Linda Cohen Loigman. This is a historical fiction. And this one we are following Augusta Stern. So Augusta Stern, she is now 80 years old when she enters this retirement community. And she ends up coming face to face with this guy who had broken her heart 60 years prior. So now we go back in time to the 1920s when Augusta Stern is growing up. And she basically works for her dad's pharmacy. And now her dad has this like famous pharmacy, right? And then her aunt ends up taking a part of it or a portion of it, and her aunt's methods are very different from her dad's traditional pharmacy methods. Augusta's aunt has very peculiar remedies, potions, things that she recommends to customers. And so Augusta is like tied between choosing her father and, you know, what the traditional way that he does things, or Augusta's aunt's peculiar, very strange ways that Augusta's very like curious about. So something happens, and you know, Augusta ends up finding this man that she falls in love with, this guy. And then she ends up taking this elixir, one of Augusta's aunt's elixirs, to like sort of try to clear her head. But after she decides to take that potion, something goes very, very wrong. Everything goes wrong in her life. And then she vows to like never vouch for her aunt's stuff ever again. And so now here we are 60 plus years and that's still haunting her. So what happened, right? She still can't remember exactly what went wrong. So this one seems it doesn't catch my eye. I'm not a historical fiction girly at all. Not a fan of historical fiction at all. So this is going to be a skip for me. But however, if the premise does sound intriguing to you, make sure to check this one out. I do love the cover. I do love the cover. Alright, so the next book that we have is called Sleep Tight by J.H. Market, and this is a thriller. I believe this is the author of The Nightmare Man. I could be wrong. Is this the author of the Nightmare Man? So this is a thriller. Really love the cover of this one. And this one we are following a serial unaliver, right? Named Father Silence. So Father Silence was a serial unaliver who was basically going around this town called Twisted Tree, disguising himself as a priest, going into homes and then claiming victims. He ended up taking 19 victims and a young boy. Now the young boy was found alive and ended up going into the loony bin, but the other 19 people were obviously unalived. So this kid goes into the loony bin and they arrest the serial unaliver. Now, nearly 2 decades later, Father Silence, the serial unaliver, is finally put to, you know what I mean? They have the penalty for him. Okay, that penalty. And so now, the very next day after that happens, they find the detective, the lead detective that first arrested Father Silence. He's also unalived, all right? Nobody knows who's doing it. Now there's a copycat murderer who calls himself the Outcast, and now he is taking victim by victim by victim. Now the detective of this case, the one that was found, has a daughter, right? And she's an adult already, and she went through a lot of trauma growing up, seeing her father with this case. She has some sort of trauma. Now her daughter ends up going missing and is taken by the Outcast, and so she has to go back to the town, confront her past, and figure out what in the pajamas is going on. So this one seems really good, very interesting, very intriguing. I really like it. Don't know if I'm going to choose that one. This one's a maybe, but I do have my eye on another one, which we will get into in a second. The next book is called Blue Sisters. This is a contemporary fiction, and this is by Coco Millers. Now this one we are following 3 blue sisters. Okay, we have Avery, we have Bonnie, and we have Lucky. Now, Avery is the oldest. She's a recovering addict and is now living in London as a lawyer with her wife. Good for her, good for Avery, right? Then we have Bonnie, who is a former boxer and is now living in LA and is now a bouncer. And then we have the youngest sister, Lucky. And Lucky is a model who models for Paris, right? And she's also trying to outrun the party life. Now, they used to have a 4th sister, but she ended up, she passed away. And now they're trying to sell their childhood home in New York. Somebody's trying to sell their childhood home in New York, and they want to put a stop to it. So they all go back to New York, and then they start having to confront secrets that they not only kept from each other, but from themselves. This one, not catching my eye at all. Don't like the cover, not really interested in the synopsis, so I will be skipping this one. But if you're into contemporary fiction, or if this sounds intriguing to you, definitely check it out. Okay, so now the next book that we have here is Phantasma, and this is a paranormal romance. So in this one, and this is by Kaylee Smith, in this one we are following our main character, Ophelia. Now, Ophelia's sister ends up going missing, and there is only one way to save her. So Ophelia goes into Phantasma, which is this really haunted, creepy, twisted mansion. So if Ophelia finishes up all these trials and faces her fears, at the very end of the mansion, she gets one wish granted. Okay? And so Ophelia decides to go, and she's like, all right, I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to enter this deadly contest. Yes, it's a deadly contest, just to see if I can get my sister back. So she ends up going into the mansion, and she is thrown through trial after trial after trial, until finally she feels like she's going to give in to all the fears that she's been having to face. Now, enter in Mr. Hot Guy. Mr. Hot Guy Blackwell claims that he can help Ophelia make her way to the end of the mansion. She can reach the end. She can make it. Okay? All he needs in return is 10 years of her life. And then he'll help her get whatever she wants. And so Ophelia, she's like, all right, help me, guide me. But she's hesitant because even though he is this beautiful, luscious, charming man who really looks like he knows what he's doing, can he really be trusted? And the only thing that might be more dangerous in these trials is falling in love in this haunted mansion. This book is supposed to be super salacious, right? Full of all these, it's literally considered extra spicy, graphic violence, haunted house, gruesome. Give me a haunted house and romance with blood. I'll take it. I will take it. Okay, this is what I wanted Haunting Adeline to be. Haunted. I'll take it. I'll take it. This is a yes. Yeah! Definitely yes. Adding this to my box right now as we speak. Adding. Now, last but certainly not least, we have Madwoman, which is a contemporary fiction by Chelsea Beaker. And this one we are following our main character. Her name is Clove. She keeps her past a secret, right? And now she's a mother, right? And she's trying to move forward with her life and motherhood. And like she really wants to get away from her past, okay? Because she's had a very traumatic past. When all of a sudden, one day she receives a letter from a women's prison, and now she has no choice but to confront her past and the traumas that she had to face. And now we're going back and forth in time with present day Clove and then past Clove, and trying to piece together what exactly happened to Clove that traumatized her so much. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I hate this cover with a passion. It gives me bad vibes. I hate this cover. I hate it. I'm sorry. I know they say don't judge a book by its covers, but this cover bothers me so much that I'm like, nope, no. So that's a no for me. So anyways, before I let you know what's inside my box, let's move on to the new and recent add-ons, and then finally the spotlight titles for this month. So the new and recent add-ons are Here One Moment by Leanne Moriarty, The Night We Lost Him by Laura Dave, The Life Impossible by Matt Haig, The Crimson Crown by Heather Walter. That one's a Snow White retelling that's like spicy and sapphic, so I might add that one. Someone in the Attic by Andrea Mara, Violet Sings by Chloe Gong, Home Cooking by Lori Colwyn, Leather and Lark by Breen Weaver, Middle of the Night by Riley Sager, A Sorceress Comes to Call by T. Kingfisher, 4 Weekends and a Funeral by Ellie Palmer, The Orient the Lodge's Field Guide to Love by India Holton, The Same Bright Stars by Ethan Joella, Seventh Veil of Salome by Sylvia Moreno Garcia, Hum by Helen Phillips, The Days I Loved You Most, Bear by Julia Phillips, Bad Tourist by Carl Carver, and The Love of My Afterlife by Christy Greenwood. Spotlight titles are The God of the Woods by Liz Moore, All the Colors of the Dark by Chris Whitaker, The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave, The Women by Kristen Hanna, Apples Never Fall by Leanne Moriarty, Swan Song by Ellen Hilderbrand, Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, and Immortal Longings by Chloe Gong. And then, of course, we got a new Volume 0, Issue 3. And for my box specifically, as of right now, I'm debating whether adding Crimson Crown or not. we'll see. But right now my box just includes Phantasma, Leather and Lark, and then Volume 0, Issue 3. So that's it for my box. That's it for my book of the month. Pick or skip, my own personal opinions. Of course, you're entitled to your own opinions. Everybody is different. Please don't judge me harshly if your opinion differs from mine. We're all different, and that's what makes reading so wonderful. So anyways, you guys, thank you so much for watching. If you made it to the very, very end, what are we dropping? I don't know. Drop a little like water, anything with water for that like horrible Mad Woman cover. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell to be notified when I post, and make sure to hit that like button because it really helps out my channel. Let me know what book you guys plan on picking as well down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!